Hi everybody, this is Jenna here again to give you guys another video. This time I'll be talking about my quick tips for Canvas. So if you don't know what Canvas is, it is our learning system that we use to access all of our classes. It is how our professors will communicate with us, how they will publish any assignments, any quizzes, any exams, whatever it may be. That is our home base for our classes that we are taking. Especially right now during the pandemic, you might be using all of Canvas to be able to complete classes. If you're doing hybrid or on campus, you might be using part of it to be able to complete your classes. So Canvas is always going to be there for you to use, and I'm going to be giving you guys my quick tips on how to access it, how to navigate it, as well as other important tips for you to know so you can be successful this coming semester and the next semesters after. First things first is how to access Canvas. So you can access Canvas, the way I recommend is I Google UCD Access. I click that first link, I log in with my credentials, and then the first thing that you'll see is it'll come up with a navigation list of a bunch of different places you can click on to go to. One of them is Canvas. If you do end up accidentally clicking on your student portal or you sign directly into your student portal, Canvas, there's a little tab at the bottom that is in blue. It'll say Canvas, and you can click on that and it'll take you to Canvas as well. So I just recommend using CU Denver websites to be able to get into Canvas. Trying to Google Canvas itself and trying to use the Canvas website to get in, it's just going to take longer. It's just easier just to use your credentials, use those quick links, and get into Canvas that way. Next is how to navigate Canvas. So the first thing you'll see, especially if you're a new student, you'll see all of your classes as little cards, so little tabs. And they can be color coded or you can have no colors for it. Depends. It's something that you can change on the left hand side. Once you see all of your classes, that way is the best at the beginning of the semester, just so that you can access each of those classes individually, get used to how they're set up, because there is no universal setup for classes on Canvas. Some professors will use different tabs, set it up differently. So it's just the best way for you to click on a class, figure out how that's all set up, and then go to each of them so that you can get used to that lay of the land. I highly recommend once you get into the semester further and you start having those due dates, those assignments, those projects, whatever it may be, I highly recommend using list view that you can change in the top right hand corner of the screen. I highly recommend it just because you can see all of the due dates. It'll separate it by day, and you'll see what is due, what you've completed, what is missing if you missed something in the past that you need to complete. It'll tell you when tests are going to be, when projects are due, all of that stuff, and it'll separate it by the class. If you use colors, it'll separate by colors as well. It's just the best way for you to have like a secondary planner. You should already have one planner set up so that you can have those there, but it's just the best way for you to have that one place where you can see all of those due dates instead of having to go individually into each of your classes. So that's how to navigate throughout your Canvas. Just know that once you get into each of those classes, some of those classes will use different tabs. Sometimes if you go into one class, it might show you a welcome screen with different paragraphs talking about the class itself. Could be that it comes up with the syllabus. Could be it comes up with modules. Important thing to note is that all of those classes will use modules. That's the best way for teachers to separate all of your work into either it be weeks or class periods. They'll separate it so that you can access all of the homework assignments, files, any PowerPoint presentations they use in class or via Zoom. That'll all be there for you to access, and it's just easy to differentiate. Which is really good, especially if you have to study and you need to study for something that you learned back in week 2. You can easily click on that, go and find all the files so that you can access that. So that's super important for you to know. Sometimes professors will have the assignments. They'll have an assignments tab. They'll have a discussion tab if you use discussions in the class. That's where you'll also see grades. So that's where you can access your grades, which is super important to note. So yeah, all the classes are different what they'll use. Just note that the layout will be different, so just know that you might have to get used to your algebra class looking like this, but then your physics class looks like that. So Other important tips. Note that, especially right now, I'm making this a few days before the semester starts. Sometimes you won't see your classes until maybe a few days before the semester begins, a few days before the class actually begins. That is normal. Some professors wait until those few days, or they'll post it 2 weeks in advance. It just depends on the professor. There is no universal date for your classes to be published onto Canvas. It doesn't mean you're not enrolled in them. It just means that your professor has not made it available for you to see. So just know that if you have the first day and you realize your Canvas for a class hasn't popped up, definitely contact your professor. You can see your professor on your student portal. So just know, don't worry too much yet if you don't see it. You just might have to give your professor time. Another important tip is have the Canvas app, the mobile app, on your cellular device or your phone, just so that you can see all the announcements. Make sure your notifications are on just in case there is a due date that's changed, in case your professor has made an announcement about anything being changed, about if you have like an on-campus class that's hybrid, if they're changing it to a Zoom class that day. Whatever it may be, you should have those announcements available to you so you don't either fall behind, miss something, make any type of mistake. It's just the best way for you, since all of us are going to be on our phones anyway, especially since we've been probably using them a lot more during the pandemic. Having that accessibility is super important. And then also, last thing, important note is that Canvas is not the only system that you'll use. Some classes, like say a math class, might use a separate math system for you to do your homework. That'll be extra. So just know that if that is something that you have to do, your professor will tell you about it at the beginning of class day 1, that you'll have to either buy it, or that's how you'll be doing something in your class. Not everything is via Canvas, but it'll be told to you what systems you'll be using and how you'll use it, and compared to your base Canvas. So that's pretty much all I have about my top tips for using Canvas. So if you have any questions about if you can't access Canvas, or you have any further questions about just how Canvas works, if you haven't seen your class, whatever it may be, I highly recommend contacting our Links Central, which is our new office. That is our one-stop shop for students. They are here for you to talk about financial aid, registrars, bursars, whatever it may be. All those questions as a student, you should contact them. If you do have any questions about admissions, getting into the university, since our application for spring of 2021 has opened, definitely ask us as usual. Our links are going to be either online. You can access us our website. I highly recommend it. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and have a great rest of your day.